Hey guys, on this episode we'll be going over the second and third pillars of my weight loss protocol. If you're interested in my diet aspect, you want to check out episode 1 first. So the medium pillar, the time eating window, this one took a long time, so I don't want to scare you with this, but I currently eat 1 meal a day. So my eating window is anywhere between 4 hours and 1 hour long. And I always eat around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. So I finish usually around 9 p.m. and I don't eat again until 7. In general, that's my eating protocol right now. This has been like life-changing for me to just get rid of the excess body fat. My diet only took it so far. I've had to do this to get me down to a kind of a more lean state. I'm still losing a tiny bit. I still have a tiny bit of fat between my bottom 2 abs. But yeah, I mean, it's a slow process. My body's naturally wanting to hold fat. That's just how it is. I don't have one of those genetically gifted bodies for being lean, which makes me a good guinea pig for this to help you guys out. So if you want to start intermittent fasting, I highly recommend it, but it's going to be quite difficult. So what I would recommend is doing really slowly. That way there's going to be no kind of nasty kind of transition period. Basically, your body it'll kind of flare up the ghrelin hormone, your hunger hormone, whenever you're used to eating. So if you're used to eating at 8 a.m. and noon and 6 p.m., you will just get hungry at those times because your body's used to that. So you have to train your body to push that back to the one window or 2 windows that you do. So I recommend you want to get rid of your breakfast first. Try to push your breakfast back anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, like every other day or a week, whatever works for you. Just start off by doing, once a week, you push your breakfast back 20 minutes. And after a few weeks, your breakfast will be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later that you'll eventually push it into your lunch. So you wake up, you won't be hungry because you get used to this. You probably will still have a flare up of ghrelin in the morning, and it only lasts for 5 to 10 minutes at most. For me, it's almost like 3 minutes and it's gone. Like I get a little flare up. It doesn't really feel like I'm hungry that much. I just get this kind of little glimpse of when I used to eat and then it goes away. For me personally, right now, I don't get hungry at all in the morning anymore. And I do get the little flare up of ghrelin around 2 p.m. because that's when I used to eat. It only lasts for a few minutes and then it goes away until around 5 is when I start to get hungry, and then when I'm actually hungry is at 7 o'clock when I normally eat. So once you push your window back to noon, then this is where it gets a lot more tricky because you're eating 2 meals at this point. You'll be fasted from whenever you finish your dinner, 8 hours of sleeping plus the morning. So at this point you should be up to 15 or 16 hours of fasting. And for some people this might be enough. You might not have to push it any further. Once again, my body type, it holds fat really well, and this is what I've had to do to lean down. So now I'm pretty lean, but I'm not as lean as I could be. I'm still getting to it, but I'm not going to be obsessed with it. And this is not a bodybuilding channel. I just want to help you guys with weight loss because that's something I really struggle with. So from noon, you're going to start pushing it back, and I recommend doing this over 6 months to push it back to the 1 meal a day window. This is what I did, and it worked pretty well. I actually tried to do it aggressively at first, and it was terrible. So I just dialed it back and just pushed it back 10 minutes every other day and just pushed it back until it was 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours longer. And eventually I got it up to the 1 meal a day. And once you get 1 meal a day and you lock that in, I find that I'm hungry out of that window only once every 2 weeks. So once every 2 weeks, I just get really hungry at maybe 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or something a few hours earlier, and I just eat at that time. So I just listen to my body. If I'm really, really hungry and I can't go any longer, then I will just eat. But you have to kind of learn, is it the ghrelin kicking in? Is it the hunger hormone? Or are you actually really hungry? And there's going to be some moments there, the transition where it'll be a little hard. Based on your job and what you do, you'll get a little bit lightheaded doing this. So if you're, operating heavy machinery, then you're going to have to work around this. And maybe your 1 meal isn't going to be at 7 o'clock p.m. Maybe it's 7 a.m. or whatever, however works for your life. And for the sleeping and workout, so the sleep I already mentioned, you want to be sleeping with the sun. You want to get your circadian rhythm in order. I kind of break this rule a lot, and I try not to. I just go to bed too late, and I've reset my clock again. The best way to do this, if you just stay up really late and you can't get out of that habit, is go camping and make a campfire and stare at the stars and do all that. Because when you sleep outside like that, I don't know what it is being grounded to the earth or whatever, but it resets your whole clock. You get home and you start going to bed at 10 o'clock every day. It's weird versus, if you're going to bed at 1 or 2 in the mornings. Go outside, go camping, and reset your clock. And for the workouts, I lift heavy and I lift hard. I do a lot of mostly calisthenics. I do weighted chin-ups. I throw a weight belt on there and pile a bunch of weight on there. Muscle ups, chin-ups, dips. I do a lot of cable work just because I find it fun. For me, it's just whatever is fun to do in the gym. I'm not going to have some big regime that I do in there and it's boring and I hate it. If I'm not having fun with it, I'm not doing it. Push-ups, I'm trying to do handstand push-ups, just some of those more advanced calisthenic movements. I just got a weight vest, which I'm going to start loading on even more weight because I was doing chin-ups there and I loaded up, I maxed out 125 pounds on my weight belt and it's to the point where it's starting to hurt my hips. Like there's just too much weight on my hips. So I'm going to try to throw like 60 or 80 pounds on my shoulders and then I can kind of distribute it a little bit better. For workouts in general, you don't need to go crazy. If you just be active, that's really all you need. You try to do something every day, whether it's just go for a walk, you go golfing, go to the gym the next day, go hiking the next day, then you're back in the gym on Sunday, and whatever it is, just try to be active. It'll make a difference for sure, and it'll definitely tone up and tighten your body. As a lot of people say, once you build muscle, it burns fat and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to it, for losing weight, you want to be on a plant-based diet, no oils, and good sleep, intermittent fasting, and it's just game over. So the first thing you want to do is transition to a plant-based diet. I recommend just slowly cutting out foods. If you want to go gung-ho and just chop it off, that's even better, but your gut microbiome will have to adapt, so you probably will have some gas or you might feel a little weird. The main thing is just to make sure you eat enough calories when you switch to a plant-based diet, because you have to eat a lot more food, which is a benefit because I think most people like eating. But I show you some of my meals, like I have huge bowls of food and it only adds up to be 2,500 calories a day. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer anything. And until next one, guys, have a great day.